Today I'm going to be talking about how and why I thrift shop, and I feel like the topic around like buying brand new clothes compared to buying second-hand clothes, like the whole topic I feel like is very important because there are so many environmental reasons, ethical reasons, humanitarian reasons, and so many more reasons why this is an important topic to take action in. So that's why I'm going to be talking about it today. There's a difference between charity shops and thrift stores, and it's kind of a very confusing difference. I'm not gonna lie, I have done my research into it and I personally am still confused. So if you're confused by this video when I keep saying charity shops and thrift stores, it's because charity shops are like mostly in the UK and thrift stores are in the US. And I looked on the internet the definition of a thrift shop, and the definition came up as a shop selling second-hand clothes and household goods, typically to raise funds for a church or charity. I don't think I've actually ever been to a thrift store because I personally have never been to America, but I have been to many charity shops before, so I kind of think they're the same thing. So I'm just going to be talking about thrift stores and charity shops as kind of the same thing because that's how I understand it. So why I do like buy second-hand clothes and thrift shop is because firstly it's more affordable. Brand new clothes are very expensive, well, can be very expensive, and second-hand clothes are less expensive. The second reason is because you can find like really unusual clothes and like different items as well. For example, sunglasses, like different accessories, shoes, all kinds of stuff that other people don't have. So you'll look different, or you may just look trendier because you can find like vintage stuff in charity shops, like even more vintage than clothes in normal shops. Yeah, you can just find some really cool and unusual pieces. And I find like thrifting like a very cool thing because you can find so many different styles. Like you go to the same shop and find like 50 different styles from so many different people, and it just shows like the characteristics of the people that have like donated those items. And yeah, it's just so cool just like sifting through the different styles and seeing like and finding your style. Purchasing an item from the thrift store or charity shop means that you're giving money to people that are less fortunate than yourself. So you could be giving money to people that don't have any drinking water or a scarce amount of drinking water, and your money is like helping them be able to drink water and survive, or just like give them the medicine that they need to survive. So I think it's a really good thing to do. Like you're gonna go out and buy the clothes, so why don't you just give your money and buy this kind of the same clothes, but give your money to charity instead. Say if you like a company style, for example, say if I liked Primark's room decor and clothing style, however the company doesn't represent good ethical trading, so I still wanted to buy their stuff. However, I didn't want to give my money to them because they represented so much bad stuff. So what I can do is go on like a Depop, for example, because it's a second-hand shop, or I can go to a car boot sale or a thrift store or a charity shop and go there and find something from Primark, because you're buying something that like Primark has already made. However, you're not giving your money and supporting the business. Not many people know what fast fashion is, so I'm gonna do my best to explain to you what fast fashion is about. And if you want to learn more about fast fashion and like learn in detail what it's about, if you're really interested, there's a documentary called The True Cost, and I'm gonna put it in the description just to remind you. And also in the description I'm going to be putting some links to some really useful and good YouTube channels that talk about fast fashion in more detail, and their kind of whole channel is about like thrift shopping, I guess. So yeah, go check them out if you're interested. So what fast fashion is basically what it's called, fast fashion. So in this day and age, people want new clothes and really fast. So that means the companies need to pick up the pace of what we want, because we're the customers and we're the people that they make money from, and we're the ones who give them the money. So the more like in tune they are with us means they get more money. So what they do is fast fashion like lasts around 2 weeks. So during this 2-week period, the company has to design, manufacture and deliver to their shops new items, and these items are planned to last around 2 weeks, because 2 weeks is like around the time people well, trends like last. So yeah, trends last 2 weeks, so fashion items need to last 2 weeks. So that means that the quality is not very good, because like the items are manufactured so fast. I mean, sometimes they are manufactured well, but even when you're like paying a lot, like a very high price, they're normally manufactured in the same factory, which means the standards are literally the same, so you're paying extra for nothing. Also, like they pay, because it's fast fashion, people want to pay less for the trends, because everyone knows that trends are going to die out, so they don't want to pay a lot for these items. So that means that companies need to sell their items for less money to be able to get more people to buy them, and that means that they need to manufacture these items for as little money as possible so they can make as much profit as possible from these items. So that means they use sweatshops, that means they use unsustainable resources, and all of this is so bad for the environment, just for the world, because like sweatshops are based in countries that are already, oh my goodness, I just realised the exposure is so high, I'm going to turn it down a bit. So yeah, these sweatshops are based in poorer countries, and like the people that work in sweatshops don't really have much choice, because they need to make money because they're poor already. So they will take any job even though it pays like basically nothing, and companies like in richer countries, for example like the US or UK, takes advantage of this and pays them so little. So these people are barely getting any money, and they're working in such a bad environment because the companies don't want to spend more of their profits like fixing up these factories, because they just think it's like nothing, it doesn't really matter. And they're like a bad quality because they need to be made so fast, and these items are like, they go in trend and then they go out of trend so quickly. So that means people throw out these items very quickly as well. I'm just going to use the example of fishnet tights. So fishnet tights went in trend, so that means like loads and loads of companies started selling them and people started buying them. But now that they're not going in trend anymore, people are just throwing them away, and that is filling up landfills so quickly. Like there's literally like no tomorrow, they're just filling up that quickly, and that's just such a waste. What we should be doing is buying sustainable like items that are gonna last us like for years and years and years, and aren't gonna like die out of trend. They're just gonna look good, and they go with loads of like different outfits. You can keep wearing them over and over again, and people getting paid a good amount so they can live off the money, and they should be in a safe environment. And there are so many reasons why you should be like buying items from good sustainable companies. There are so many out there. I'm going to link some down below if you're interested from buying from sustainable companies. But today I'm talking about thrifting. So thrifting is another option, and it's less money, and you're like basically just reusing the items that are already out there, because these people have already paid for these items. So you're just basically paying them for the items that already exist, and you're not supporting any bad companies. You're just using and reusing the items that already exist. Now I'm going to move on to how I thrift shop. Before I go to a charity shop or just any shop that I'm planning on buying something from, I basically get my style inspiration from Pinterest. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this already, but it just gets me in the right mindset. So say I'm going to the shop in like 30 minutes, 30 minutes before, I just flick through my Pinterest boards and just kind of fill my head full of fashion items that I want to purchase that will look good. So for example, like white Converses, or not exactly Converses, just white sneakers will look good with loads and loads of outfits, and I look at those outfits, so in the shop I can go look for white sneakers, and it just kind of gets me in the right mindset, if that makes sense. Once I enter the car boot sale or the charity shop or the thrift store, I need to make sure that I am in a calm and collected place, because if I'm really stressed out, if I've just had a really busy day, my head is just all over the place and I just can't think straight. You just need to make sure that you're calm, collected, and you can think what will look good, what won't look good. And also, once you're in the shop, just try on the clothes. I know this is kind of a nuisance. I used to hate trying on clothes because I just felt like it's such a waste of time, but now I actually do it because it actually does save quite a bit of money, because you can actually see what looks good. And also I wear clothes that go along with a lot of different clothes. So for example, like black leggings or jeans, they go with practically any top, and top, just like a plain white top, because that goes with a lot of trousers, and just some plain shoes, because they go with a lot of other items. I don't know if that actually made any sense, but just plain clothing basically, just wear plain clothing. The last thing that I do when I go thrift shopping is I look at all the sizes. So I don't just look at size 8, I just look at all the sizes, and that's because some items look better in different sizes, and also I'm not gonna always be a size 8. Sometimes I'm a size 10. Like, it changes and it varies depending on what company is making the clothes. So yeah, just try on like all the different sizes. It doesn't really matter. Like, don't feel self-conscious just because you're like a size 14 on one thing and you're normally a size 12. It doesn't mean you're always a size 12, you know? It just changes. Man, those last things just didn't make any sense. Anyway, those are all of the tips and information that I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye! Never caught up in the moment, busy making the pie.